What up? Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. Now, what if I was to tell you that you're going to be able to learn and understand exactly what went into a $376,000 raise on Kickstarter by the end of this episode? Literally, a campaign that attracted more than 1,700 backers. Well, buckle up your seatbelts because that's exactly what we're getting into today. Guys, we are so lucky to have literally the cream of the crop on this show. The most incredible guests in the world of crowdfunding coming here, sharing with you every single week exactly what worked when it comes to helping them raise money. And that's really my goal at the end of the day, is just to share with you the tactics, tools, the resources, the strategies, and also the stories that lead to successful crowdfunding campaigns. So that could be on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, but also other kinds of ways, using investment crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding, etc. So if you haven't yet, go and check out some of the archives of this podcast, because we got a ton of episodes literally from people from all walks of life, people who have never done campaigns before, and in some cases, this is their 20th campaign. There's a ton of great information there. And I think the one thing that everyone has in common is that we are all aggressive hustlers. We are willing to plow through obstacles, face fear in order to be successful getting our product out there or getting our ideas out there. And that's really my mission at the end of the day, is to help you reach your full potential. Whether that's getting a new product out there, helping you create a board game, a card game, a comic book. It could be a physical gadget or a gizmo. It could even be something like a theater project or a film campaign, helping you get what you're working on out there so that it can exist in the real world. And you can ethically dominate the world, right, with this sucker. And I've always been passionate about that, honestly, but I do think that it kind of goes back into, honestly, my younger years, being adopted from El Salvador. I never kind of realized this, but I think that being adopted from a third world country, so I'm adopted from El Salvador, for those of you who don't know, my name is Salvador, I'm adopted from El Salvador. And I grew up in a small town in Massachusetts. I have two Caucasian parents. And being from a third world country always made me feel special, almost made me feel like, I kind of won the lottery, right, in some sense, because so many other people wish they could have that opportunity. And I always felt this duty, this public duty, right, to actually give everything possible to whatever it is that I was trying to achieve. And I think that's because I felt like, wow, other people obviously don't have this opportunity, so I got to make the most of it. And that's why I'm such a passionate guy. That's why I put so much energy and attention into helping you be successful, because that's, at the end of the day, what my mission is, right, when it comes to my business and my company. So in a second, you're going to gain access to the game plan that went into this successful raise. And you're going to hear all of the things that went into making this successful. But if you really want to skip to sort of the end when it comes to going from point A to point B fastest, if you want to supercharge your campaign, if you just want to get access to the mechanics, if you will, of crowdfunding, how to do it, and more importantly, how to do it well. How to not just have results that are great, maybe, but really results that kind of blow you away, allow you to blow past your funding goal, allow you to smash through your funding goal, no matter what it is on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I put all of the tactics, resources, and strategies into one slender volume that I've discovered, and it's called the Kickstarter Launch Formula. So if you want to check this volume out, it's available via Amazon, it's available via Audible. It's an incredible book that's going to change the game for your project, and it's going to really light a fire underneath your campaign. Go and check out this on Amazon at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter formula. That link is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter formula, or on Audible at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio. If you go through that link as well, you can actually get a free 30-day trial of Audible, and you'll get a free copy of the Kickstarter Launch Formula. Great deal. crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio. All right, guys, without further ado, let's dive into this episode and discover what went into this campaign, why it was successful, and how you can emulate this strategy. And it's coming up right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. Today we're speaking with a creator that's been able to raise over $350,000 on Kickstarter off of a $50,000 goal and attract more than 1,600 backers for a really interesting new timepiece that features the work of animators from around the world, the digital art timepiece. And we're lucky enough to speak with the creator here today. Ran, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Salvador. Happy to be here.
Definitely, man. So, I mean, we can kind of just get started a little bit with maybe you sharing how you came up with this idea, or how you decided to create and put out this product.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I really like the fact that you use the term timepiece and not a clock. It really it fits it. Um, so Klydoclock started around 2.5 years ago when I met through a mutual friend with a local entrepreneur called Ronen Shelo. He has some successful stories on his belt. And at that time, he opened this new place, sort of like an incubator, not really, but for the purpose of this talk, we can call it an incubator. And he's a big fan of vintage consumer products. He has a great collection of that, like from the 50s, 60s, radios, clocks, televisions, all kinds of communication devices. And I personally is a big fan of clocks. I have also a collection of clocks in my home, like antique clocks. I like to fix clocks. And I like technology. We both really love art, and we started to talk about clocks. And he has this idea of combining a display or like some high definition screen housed within some clock body, and try to make some mesmerizing experience with that with time reading. And we started to brainstorm this, and pretty fast, like less than a month, I made this prototype here in my workshop at home. And I just took some old screen that I have and I housed it within some wooden frame with this circle for a face and some place for a pendulum. And it was like this big wow. Like we said, okay, that's beautiful. And we had the idea of combining motion with it, combining something with repetition. And immediately we thought about this world of loops, of short form animations. There's so many. There's like what we call GIFs, right? Or GIFs. And we started to experiment with that. And we kept the traditional, analog clock, like with hands and the pendulum, very subtle, very artistic, and just put in a variety of animations. And we said that we were just amazed with that. We said that we have to make this product.
For sure. How long were you working on this before you actually came out with it on Kickstarter? How long were you in that phase of working on it?
So I think the ideation process was long. When we really started to make a team and started to work on it, until we got to Kickstarter, it was around a year and a half.
Okay. And for you, had you done or had you created a product before?
Not like that. My record is more of I worked here for 15 years in the local high-tech industry as a product manager, as a developer, and I worked mainly on software, on products like software products and the mobile app. A lot of my work was on designing and manufacturing. Developing mobile apps, and so I'm familiar with that. And physical product was a big passion of mine, but I never really worked at that. I never really made one, and it was a new thing for both of us and for the entire core team. And actually, it actually one of the reasons why we decided to go on Kickstarter.
Got it. So this is your first foray into creating a real physical product, right?
Yeah.
And you really were willing to take the leap with this. Were you learning about this as you were going? Like, how did you figure this out? Was it about being surrounded with the right team, or did you have to learn a lot as you were going through the process?
Oh, definitely. We learned a lot, and we honestly did mistakes. It's like trial and error, and it was meeting a lot of people from similar industries and understanding how to do such a thing. I have an amazing team. I was really lucky enough to find two amazing persons. One is like an industrial engineer with a lot of knowledge with manufacturing, and another one is more like from the art world and from design world. And together it was a great match, and we learned a lot. We had a lot of prototyping, and during that process we kind of moved small steps through
step by step.
step by step, to eventually what it is now, like a real production grade product that we
Got it.
launched.
There are so many people out there that have ideas and that have dreams. What do you think separates you in that fact that it just went beyond just an idea or a sketch on a napkin? You really were able to create something new, right, in the world. Why do you think that other people struggle with that? What do you think holds them back?
I think it's not believing in yourself, thinking that you don't have the requirements, what's needed to qualify for that thing. Maybe also people are afraid of learning new things and to do mistakes. You have to make mistakes in order to improve yourself and in order to do anything really. I mean, and I guess I'm just not really afraid of that. I mean, I'm very enthusiastic about doing new stuff and learning. And I guess you also need some basic experience or basic set of skills to start something. And I feel like somehow along the way, I kind of gathered the things I needed in terms of development, in familiarity with product design and processes, and other than maybe just the manufacturing part of really making a physical product. And other than that, I felt very comfortable with my skill set.
Got it. I know one of the things as well, I think it's really important, is this idea of having like a global brand, right? So I think you're based out of Israel, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And you've been able to impact people in the United States, and I'm sure you have other people as well that maybe are working with you there that are around the world. Do you think this is something that anyone can do around the world, launch a new campaign, or is it really limited to like the US or Israel?
No, I think you can live in Antarctica and do that. Really, I mean, you just need internet connection.
High shipping costs.
Yeah. Well, we live in this amazing era where everything is feels so close. You can communicate with everybody. You can relatively fast. You can do things relatively fast, even physically. I mean, shipping today is not that difficult if you want to get things, and fill them. And when you have an idea, you can quite easily validate it through various methods, and they are all online methods. If it's some landing page which you can advertise and validate and see how people react. Everything is so measured today, and so you have a lot of tools to use to really make your idea or make your statement go through the entire world. It's really irrelevant if it's in Israel or it's in United States or South Africa. It doesn't matter. And they both hear at the same time, the same manner. And it's a good time to live in for that thing. Yeah.
If you're worried about the fulfillment and shipping part of your Kickstarter campaign when it comes to getting out all those perks and rewards to your backers, rest assured I've put together a complete Kickstarter fulfillment and shipping checklist for you, and it's free. This is sponsored by the folks at Fulfillrite, and they thought that you should have this checklist as part of your arsenal going into a crowdfunding campaign. If you want to get instant access to this checklist, and it's free, you can go to fulfillrite.com/checklist. Again, that is fulfillrite.com/checklist, fulfillrite.com/checklist. Just go to that link and you can download it immediately. Take me to the day which you actually launched this campaign and you start to get some funding. Where were you? What did it feel like? Put me in that situation and tell me the story of what it was like.
Wow, it was an unbelievable day. I mean, we did get some. We had like these few months of pre-campaign preparations where we started to advertise the idea just to get a glimpse of like how many people are interested in that and how many people would like to hear more about that once it launches. And so we had numbers, but they were all quite, well, not theoretical, but they were not solid because, it's just something that you promised and people are saying, yeah, maybe, and you don't know what's going to happen. And then when you launch and like you tell people, okay, it's there, you can go and put your money there and actually buy it or pre-order it. And then they come and they do that, and even more, like organically, and it's just an amazing feeling. And it's like all your work, like almost 2 years works of our some being funneled into this moment, and you see people give you the approval, like yeah, I'm interested in that. I would like to see this thing. I would like to have this clock, and you see the numbers go up and up, and it's a moment I will never forget, really.
Where were you? Were you at your home? Were you at a cafe? Where were you when you were looking at this and launching this? We
were at our office. All the core team, with Ronan, this founder that I talked about, and some other guys who occasionally work with us. And we were just there. I think it was around like 4 or 5 p.m. local time. And you see this Kickstarter screen, like this blank thing, and then you hit a button and suddenly it goes up. And we got to our goal in like 20 minutes. And I think we closed something like 200K on the first day. And it was just unbelievable. And it was in the office. It was a great day in the office. And I had a great drive back home. Very pleasant drive.
Yeah, super cool. So one of the things that it looks like a learning lesson that you sent over here is this idea of having a really clear study of who your audience is, right, with the product. I was wondering if you could expand on that point and sort of what you meant by that.
Yeah. So designing and making a product, it's a little bit like writing a song. I mean, if you're a song player, a songwriter, or a singer, and I think that you write a song for yourself. The same here with the product, as I explained. I mean, we saw something that we liked. I mean, I liked it, Ronan liked it. And when you like something, you say, okay, I think other people are going to like it as well. But who are these people? I mean, they are maybe like me, but not necessarily. And so you start to build this concept of who's the audience. And these are the people that eventually going to back you on Kickstarter and buy it when it's live. And you need to understand who these people are. And first of all, to understand like what's the right features to do, and also in terms of marketing it, you need to know how to advertise it. It's very important to know your audience and make an efficient marketing and advertising campaign. It's a very important part.
Got it. Yeah. So it's super important, it sounds like, to organize that, to be aware of it, and to really do your work, right? Do your diligence, do your homework with that.
Yeah. It's a trial and error process. I mean, let's say, I mean, you need to give a title for all kind of audiences that you think gonna like this product. So it can be, of course, designers and animation lovers and clock collectors, maybe, and generally tech enthusiasts, and you can even make it like a small group, like a MoMA design store, audience. These probably people will like a product like this. So when you start your way of validating this audience is through different kinds of online advertising, seeing what kind of a conversion you get for your ads, or for your the information that you spread out. And when you see one group that is more keen into hearing more about your product, then you understand that this is an audience that is relevant.
Yeah.
And in the future, you it's much easier to get connected with this audience and to address them, and to and also when you think of new features maybe in the future, then you can make it more relevant.
Totally. I mean, I completely agree with you, and kind of leads me a little bit into my next question, which is, hey, you are spending so much time creating this. You have envisioned an incredible marketing strategy behind it. I think one of the things that people shy away from is the price and like the reward tiers. What was your thought process behind like the price and the rewards? Like, is there a format to that? Like, are you trying to charge, I know someone's cost to make a product is like, $100, you're trying to charge $300. Do you have any thoughts on like providing some advice on that point?
Yeah. First of all, there are some rules, like you should know how much it's going to cost you to manufacture it. That's where it all starts, like the famous BOM, bill of material, like how much it's going to cost you to manufacture it. And generally, you should sell your product like around 3 times that number. And I would say for Kickstarter, you should probably go with some, I don't know, like 20, 30, even 40% discount on that price, on your retail price, to make it compelling. And also, like, these are people who are buying something which is in a way speculated. I mean, you can never tell, and you have to take it into account in the price. But I wouldn't recommend going too much low, too much close to your, like, don't be like 50% over your manufacturing cost. Otherwise, I mean, you might have a successful campaign, but you might not be able to move forward after that. Like you wouldn't be left with enough fuel to continue.
Yeah. So make sure you have enough margins, right?
Yeah, margins.
So would you say, like, if someone's spending, if it's like $1 to make the product, would you charge like $3? Or you say $5? Or what do you think?
I think that, like, on Kickstarter, I would go with around $2.50, and with a retail price of $3, $3.5.
And in thinking about these rewards, did you put when you were looking at these and kind of thinking through what people are going to get, did you really think through having this like early bird and like what was your approach here? Because it sounds like you have a couple of different pricing tiers. Did you learn anything about your rewards or the ones that people were interested in?
Yeah. So we decided to go with I think it's a very common approach, I would say, like with having some different levels, like different, like starting with the super early bird for those who really are come first and give you like the first big boost, and make your campaign, make it like big, make it something that is something powerful, people talk about. Yeah, powerful, exactly. So it's very important to get this first group of people, and you want a extension group, not just 10 or 20 people. So you should offer like a very, very large discount for a super early bird, something for the first 24 or 44 hours of the campaign. This is like the crucial time where you want your campaign to get this, to get like a stamp of this is going well, this is going to be successful. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's definitely true. And in thinking about this, this is all basically culminating to like your first day, right? So one of the other quick follow-up questions I had for you, like on the tactical front, is for those people that are looking to launch a campaign, how big of an audience do you think people should have before they go live with something like a new product?
I think that you should have around, ideally, you should get at around 10,000. What you call leads, like people who said like, I'm interested, I giving you, I mean, I want to hear more about your product. So if you can get around 10,000, that's a really good start. Ideally, maybe 20,000. That's a better number. These numbers would probably convert to 100 at least of backers at the first days, and I think that's an important thing to have on your first day.
Yeah, for sure. In thinking about this, how has this been different from your original job, right? Which is like more software and stuff like that. How does it feel different having a physical product now? What does that feel like in comparison for you, in terms of the project or the reward?
Well, I love it. First of all, I mean, for me, it's in a way, it's a little bit like a dream come true. I think that ever since I was a child, eventually this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to deal with physical products. If you'd asked me like 15 years ago, I would tell you I want to make toys, but I'm not far from that. And And there's something so real, so magical about physical products. It's something that you think about, you make it, and then it is sent to someone else, to his home, to his office, and they actually have it. It's like a piece of yourself, and it's like art in a way. And so for me, it's an amazing experience, and I love it. But the truth needs to be said, it's a much more difficult world to live in than in the software world. The software world is much more easy. It's much more relaxing. Every error is very easy to fix. You don't need to bring new components. You don't need to make physical changes, which take a long time. And of course, when you ship something which maybe has some issues, then it's a whole different issue than fixing a software from remotely. Yeah, I mean, I'm a tinker. I like to work with my hands. I like to build things. So for me, physical product. I mean, the office I work now in with our we have this small workshop where we do some basic assembly and do prototyping. For me, this is like a dream come true. I always wanted a place like that to work. I prefer this.
Living the dream, man. You're living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Where can people go to learn more as well about your product here? Where can they go to learn more about this on Kickstarter or your website?
Yeah, so they can go to our website. It's Klydoclock.com. Klydo is like Klydo and then clock. Oh, I didn't mention, but Klydo means, like in ancient Greek, something beautiful to see, like a kaleidoscope. So this is where it came from. So anyway, you Klydoclock.com, and you can search for Klydoclock Kickstarter. You will immediately get all the to the Kickstarter campaign. It's live till September 14, I think.
And from what I understand, you're also thinking of some future when it comes to the product, right? What's your vision when it comes to the future?
So we have a big vision. Generally speaking, I think that when you make a product, you need to think more than just the product. The product is like it should facilitate some kind of a big vision of a brand, of a company. And so for me, Klydo as a company is about making products that make some magical experience through known familiar products. Like in this time, on this occasion, it's a clock. And I have a vision for other products. But even within the Klydoclock product, we have a vision of creating an online platform for artists. We call it Clocksmith, and it's going to be live in around 3 months, I guess. And it's going to be a platform for artists, animators, to join and upload their animations, their loops, and make them into a Klydo. A Klydo is what we call the animated face of the clock, this old theme, and to publish it. And I believe that given enough eyeballs on Klydoclock, being in enough houses and offices, then it's a great opportunity for artists, animators to showcase their art. And it's a new medium really for this kind of art, for this short animation form. And our vision is to be the stage for these artists and to make more and more people want to have it around them as a clock and enjoy this combination of animation and loops within the clock.
Exciting, very exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I have one final question for you. And I'll make sure to link up the campaign and your site in the description. My final question for you is, and we can end on this note, you can either end with a word of encouragement for other people out there that are looking to launch campaigns or bring their products into the world. You could end with a favorite quote that you like, a bit of advice that someone has given you in the past, or a final tip.
Oh, is it okay to give like a book and a quote from the book?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So it's a book. It's a famous book, but I think not many people read it these days. It's Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. This is the book I recommend. generally for the sake of good life and understanding this world. And there's a quote for this book that I really like. It's a book by Robert M. Pirsig, and he says, you want to know how to paint a perfect painting? It's easy. Make yourself perfect and then just paint naturally.
That's great. I love that quote. That's great, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. I'm sure the community is also going to love the advice you shared. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Salvador.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. Hope you took a ton of value out of today's episode, a wealth of information when it comes to launching your crowdfunding campaign. In addition, if you want to get access to sort of the accompaniment of my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula, I got a great video course out there, which you can take video training modules going through not only tutorials, but also the secrets that I've discovered that really get campaigns funded. The kind of stuff that's just honestly not revealed anywhere else. So if you do want to check that out, I share that with you in a free course. All you got to do is enter your name and email, and you will start getting some of these lessons from me on a weekly basis. Go to the link at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter. That link is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter. That link is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter. All right, man. One of the things I want to share with you before we say goodbye for today's episode is that kind of when I was looking back as well at some of the areas in which I've gotten results in my life. One of the areas that has always kind of surprised me is my ability to actually change the way that I look. So when I was younger, I look at other people that are very athletic and people who have the kind of body type that I want. And I never actually believed that I could change the way I looked until I actually stumbled on a couple of really incredible video tutorials and resources that taught me about fitness. So I started to learn about things like going to the gym, how do you actually diet, what goes into a really good workout routine, right? How to structure that. And I was for a while like fooling around the gym and trying to lose weight and like these kind of things, and nothing was really working. But once I got access to the right data, once I had the right trainer, the right mentor, right, when it comes to this video training, it helped me so much. And people started to notice. I started to pack on a bit of muscle. I started to look better, feel more confident. And I kind of had this light bulb moment that you can actually change your circumstances. Just even taking action, but off of the right data and information is so freaking powerful, right? You could actually get better results than you've ever imagined possible. And that's because you're working off of an existing strategy that already works. When I was first trying it and I was just kind of doing it the way I thought you were supposed to, or I was just maybe trying to eat the right stuff, right? Or just kind of following like the old wives' tales kind of stuff you should and shouldn't eat and doing a little bit of exercise, nothing happens. But once I actually had a plan, once I got access to the right data, I had the right mentor, and I started to take action, I was able to improve my results dramatically. So this always stuck with me, and I think that you can do this in every area of life. And I think that you're doing that right now as well when it comes to learning how to launch a crowdfunding campaign. Surrounding yourself with the right people. Every single episode, you're hearing from mentors, guides, people that are doing this in the same way that you want to, that are getting funding using crowdfunding. And if you really want to enhance this, if you want your own personal trainer, if you want someone who can share with you the strong foundation which you need in order to launch a successful campaign, give you feedback on all of your existing resources, share with you what you don't know when it comes to the process, some of the resources that you're missing out on, and some of the tactics and the strategies which can have a powerful impact no matter what category you're launching in, I can help you as with my intensive coaching calls. So these are calls I make myself available to the community on an individual basis where you can actually book an individual coaching call with me and we can go over your entire strategy and entire tactics going into your campaign. In addition, some students might need help with execution, and we can also talk about that as well towards the end of the coaching call, but these are designed to be one-off, intensive, useful coaching calls, and I've had so many students, hundreds of students go through this system that I've designed, and literally everyone has said that they've had so much more confidence coming out at the other end. So if that sounds interesting to you and you're ready to make an investment in yourself, in your education, and really positioning yourself correctly when it comes to being successful with a crowdfunding campaign, go to the link I'm about to mention and you can get your individual coaching call booked ASAP, fill out a little bit of information, tell me more about you, what you're trying to achieve, and we can get that call scheduled ASAP. The link is crowdcrux.com/coaching. Again, that link is crowdcrux.com/coaching, crowdcrux.com/coaching. We'll take you there and you can get your call scheduled. Look forward to meeting you, man. And if not, no worries. Hope you check out some of my other episodes out there on the podcast. Go and check out the YouTube channel. Just search my name, honestly, on YouTube, and it'll come up. But either way, I got a killer episode for you next week. So make sure that you stay tuned. Make sure you're learning, taking action, and applying everything that you're learning in these episodes. Thank you so much. My name is Salvador, and I will see you next time.